camera holder is playing tricks again. It's staying in place. Anyway, since last stream I made 4 more Temaris. One of the fire is almost ready. Just the matter of obikagari left. But I decided to take a break because I've done already the this is number 9. I got number 10, 11 and 12, so 12 of the fires to be made, and I've got 6 of the water done, and I've got 2 more to make. That's what I have. That's what I have. The thread, the only bobbin left. There's another 2, so I decided to make 8. It depends on who will be lucky, and all the first 8 will be really lucky to get it, and the rest will have to wait until I find the right color, or maybe just, I don't know if it's my eye. I think no, it's just my eye. It looks like a bit of dust here for me. Must be something wrong with my spectacles, glasses, because in some areas it looks like it's covered with dust. Even thought that it's not. No, it's definitely a problem with my eyes. So the pale blue, and the main colors here will be white and kind of turquoise green. The camera shows it more blue, but in fact it's close to green, kind of very pale yellow green, kind of mint colored. So I have to decide where would be the top of the bowl. Hi, yes, ring with magnifier is okay, but I have the I have a problem with this actually magnifying glass. Like I cannot see through it, so I have to use my glasses, and I usually my eyes as 1.5, but since I couldn't find it, I really had to buy urgently. I bought 1.75, so everything is kind of wobbly, and at the evening my +1 are not too weak to work with this lamp above, and God gives me a headache, so I have to use these bigger glasses that I need. So it kind of create me a problem. Let me see if I can find the smaller ones. This one is too cheap. Нет. This one is better. This one +1. Still smaller than I need, but it looks better. And of course, Rudy. Once I start streaming, he demands attention immediately. So he wants to go out. He wants to run in the garden, but since he just had his dinner, he has the the 1 hour curfew, just because his breed is не делай вид, it's acceptable to the bloat, so he's staying in the house 1 hour after his meal. And now he's pretending he's got nausea, but just because there's a cat in the garden, so he's acting like he has a nausea. In fact, he doesn't, because as soon as he hears cats, his nausea stops. So he makes me think he needs to go outside to eat some grass. But in fact, he's just trying to chase the cat away. So I got his tricks. That's what Irish setters are doing. They are very, everybody says they are daft, but they're very smart, smart dogs. He picked up that once he's sick, I let him out in the garden to eat some grass. Now he's using that. Yeah, he's using, he's doing that trick every time he wants to go. So he's just standing next to me, licking his lips, pretending. So he's this kind of what's his name? Forgot. I've definitely had the COVID, I think, because my memory. Yes, he's like he's standing right next to me, like the spirit of Hamlet's father. Oh. We have a joke about that. It's like, чего? Чего тебе надо? Иди спать ложись. Иди ложись спать. So the pins are in place. And now the fun part, stitching. Well, first is a markup, and then goes the stitching. So you see, no nausea. Once he figures out that I picked up that he's not sick, he just goes to bed, goes on the sofa, and lies down quietly. He will try again in about half an hour to see if I really got his trick or not. So I usually, when I do the markup, I place the thread from one pole to another. Goes from one side, from the left, and on the other side on the right, again to the left of the pin, through the pole on the right. This way I know that the distance between the pins, between the threads, markup threads, are the same, equal. So there will be like 1 millimeter difference. There won't be any difference on that. And on the pole I pick up just a couple of layers of the thread, again on the right. Since I'm doing the obi on this Temari, I don't make the equator, because obviously it's kind of disturbing when I do the obi maki, because you can get the gaps between the wrapping around the equator. So for the maris without with the obi maki, and even with other types of obi, I don't place the equator. I just stitch them, stitch the the meridians at the equator pins. So they are fixed and not sliding away. And also I know that this is the equator there. Looking at the stitch marks, it's hard to see, but they are there. So when I do the marking for both sides of the keyhole, I measure from those stitches. So that's my equator as a pin, as a stitch on the meridian. So I was supposed to cook the nice stuff because my husband wanted to bring that's why you got the meridian stitched, so it doesn't, even if it slides away in the stitching, you know that the center of the meridian, the semisphere, is already attached to the equator. It doesn't slide away. And as I said, my family was supposed to come tomorrow, but I had a call from my husband a couple of hours ago that all of them got the high fever, so they're not coming. And since there's a wide range of symptoms, I think they got this nasty thing. So my family is protecting me, and I'll stay 2 weeks in the house. Got lots of food for myself, just have to check with my neighbors if they got any turkey left, because Rudy is eating turkey. He's allergic to chicken, and his stomach doesn't accept beef, so it's turkey and lamb. Got some lamb in the freezer, but I've run out of turkey, so I have to check with my neighbor. He breeds turkey, so if he has any in stock for sale. So for these Maris, this is the 7.5 centimeters in diameter. It's about 23-24 centimeters in circumference for the Mari like that. I use the distance with of about 1.5 centimeter from the equator. This is what I say. This is the stitch. So I place the pin, place the markup line paper, and 1.5 centimeters. That's why I use the copybook for the math. I would call them accounting books as well, because this one is actually bigger, and it's somewhere underneath. So it's not a standard copybook, it's a big one, because it can be used for the bigger Maris. The standard book, the school one, is only capable of doing about 9 centimeters in circumference. That's the max if you're going not in this direction but that one. But so if you're making wraps about 15 centimeter Mari, you obviously need a longer, bigger sheets to make the strips like that. So I got one of those copybooks for the accountants. Got a leaf. It's already trimmed a bit, but if you open it up, you get enough space to cut it this way. I got enough length to make the markup paper, markup strips, the bigger Maris. That's what I actually used for this one. For this one, it's about 12 centimeters in diameter. So yes, those big copybooks are good for Maris like that. And got the last one left here. Yeah, he knows that I know. So he went to my son's bedroom while my son is in city. Rudy is sleeping in his bed. So I can remove this pin. It's no longer used for me. And I'll make two rows with white, just because in case my camera dies before I finish streaming. For this Maris, I do 2 stitches of 2 rows of white, one of the turquoise, and then the one white, 2 turquoise, and 3 white. So it's nine stitches in total. And on the Mari like that, it gives me enough space to make the obi around 1.5 centimeter in total. That's perfect, I think. So this is what I'll be doing. 2 rows of white, and as I said before, I usually do each colors at the same time to save time. Every time I say that, I don't know how it works, but it does make it faster to stitch. So about from 3 to 10 minutes. I don't know what the magic is. It's like the tricks with one of the chocolates and replacing the nuts on the board. It's some math magic, but it does work. So what I'll do now, I'll finish these 2 rows with white, and I switch to the other side and do the 2 rows of white on the south pole, and then I'll move back to the turquoise. When I finish both sides, switch back to white and do on both sides, switch back to turquoise again. So by the time I finish one kiko, the other one is almost ready. And probably just a bit of psychology that you know that you're almost done and you're working faster. And instead of finishing one side and you're thinking, oh, I've got another side to finish, and kind of delaying and procrastinating stuff. And so I guess it's just something that makes you move faster. Нет, 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 нет. Тебе неплохо, иди ложись спать. There's definitely cat outside. I don't know if you can hear how he's huffing and puffing here, but he's still got another half an hour in his stomach curfew. Actually, place it next. If you grab the enough threads underneath, you don't actually need pins after the first row, but just in case, I keep them on. So I'll remove them once I finish the second row on the second kiko, and that from that point it will be pin free and easy to stitch because everything is already there. All the markups done, all the pins are in place, and all the base stitches are there. So all you do, just add more stitches on top. Yeah, so since I don't travel to the city tomorrow on Saturday, And my family doesn't come here on Saturday. We can stream on Saturday as well. So there will be one, hopefully, on Saturday night. I used to party at Saturday night, but these days I'm streaming. Чего стоит? Нету котов. Иди спать. Иди спать. Давай. Прыгни и спать. My red horse. Да. Уйди, уйди. Не мешай. He has to interfere into everything. That was a good click. That means that the knot is really well secured inside the layers of wool and it won't pop out. Oops. Yes, that's why I prefer to work with the pins first and then work pin free, so your thread, the thread doesn't get locked and tied around. And one more. So, got 10 minutes left before my camera will start overheating. So I hope by that time I will start the Turkish thread. Turkus? What? How do you pronounce it properly? I prefer the Turkish name. It's with Firuza, which is the name of the stone and the name of the woman's name. So look at this one as well. And when I finish the row, I prefer to shift to another meridian. So when you're jumping between two meridians, you got everything nice and straight instead of going here and going out there, and the threads are actually overlapping and sliding. So I prefer to make the shift to the right and then start stitching from that area, from that point. As I said, I use this little knot as the equator line. Got all the pins in place, and we can start stitching second kiko. Remove the pin from the pole. Oops, sorry. Oops. Is everyone okay? So, another kiko. So that would be for this week. Hopefully I'll finish with the with the what's the word? I forgot the word. The necessary amount of temaris, the commercial part batch, and I will start stitching some of the temaris for fun. And but so far this is the number, this one 28, this one 29, so I got 2 more to make tomorrow. And after that, that's January's 31 day, I will have a couple of days to work for fun, to make as many temaris that I like, not the one I have to make. And hopefully we'll be doing that online. This definitely will be the video tomorrow on making the swirls. And this is not the usual swirl that you can find on Temari. This is the one that I made without additional markup. Is the simple 4 division, and this one symbolizes the wind, as I said earlier. And well, this type of the big floats are not really nice, because they tend to stick together and then they create a big gaps. But for the wind itself, it creates a nice effect. So it's kind of, yeah, there's got wind blowing here and wind blowing there, and then some spaces where there's no wind. So I will make the video of making this kind of temaris on either tomorrow or day after tomorrow, and we'll move back to some fun. There will be, unfortunately, there will be only 4 of these, because I only had the three skeins of the yarn, and this of the anchor pearl cotton. There was only 3 left, and they are not ordering it locally. They're not bringing it anymore. So I have to find some on Amazon or eBay. Wait another couple of weeks till it gets here, and by the time it's done, it's already too late, because the Novruz starts celebrating from the 21st of February. That's where they're making these temaris. Every Tuesday is the holiday before Novruz. That's every part of the nature wakes up. First is the wind, is the water, then goes earth, then wind, and then soil. As I said earlier, for the soil I'll use daffodils, and for the Novruz there will be kind of this or this with colors. I know it's very Ukrainian, but it also the colors of Tengri, which is the religion that Turks had before they became Muslim, or the Buddhist. So there was the Tengri religion, and blue symbolized the sky and the Tengri itself, the main god, and gold symbolizes the woman energy, Umai. So obviously you got Tengri and Umai together. And even thought that mostly the population here in Azerbaijan is Muslim, but they still got the traces of that Tengri in conversations, in names, in habits. And so this kind of like the legacy left from the old religions. So I'm making them, trying to revive everything, keep the traditions and make the new, like joining Japanese Temari with the Turkish holidays, Zoroastric holidays. Well, you use the Temari as a Christmas tree decoration, so why don't we use it on the plates with sweets and nuts and presents and everything? So we can. I prefer, this is the actually the trademark in Baku, as we never do the division that you're a Muslim and you're Christian and you're Jew, whatever. And as everybody loves, we start with the New Year, and then goes the Baptist the baptism thing, the holiday, and then goes the Nowruz, and then everybody celebrates Pesach, and then everybody celebrates Pascha, and everybody is exchanging the typical for this religion and tradition sweets. So you can see the Russians bringing plates with sweets and candies to Muslims, and then Muslims bring the same to Jews, and Jews bring back to Christians, and everybody celebrating together. Of course, these days when everybody lives in big houses and not the small ones, as we used to have, like 3 or 4 story building, we had internal gardens. Not some are big, some are small, but every neighbor was coming down with their sweets and whatever they had for the evening tea party, and everybody was sitting and chatting. I do miss that time, but unfortunately the old traditions are dying. People are tending to live in big story houses, and these kind of small yards are no longer a tradition. But we still celebrate everything together. And so I'll just want to add one more tradition to this all together parties and gatherings. And got one here. So we got I was just starting adding the turquoise color, but I think my camera is already boiling at the stage of lava. So I guess I have to say goodnight for tonight, and I'll see you on Saturday with more fun, with more interesting Temaris to stitch, and we'll continue on that. Thanks for joining me tonight. Stay safe and have fun. Bye.